Soul Rippers are the bane of the living, creatures born of the endless malice churning within hell. Agile and swift, the Rippers cover ground quickly by latching onto prey with their enormous tongues, and then leaping on top of their victims. From this point, the Ripper cannot be deterred. It has begun to feast. I have been fortunate enough to learn much of the barbarians' complicated history in my time. Yet the origins of these large, mighty warriors are hazy at best. Legend holds that they are the offspring of Bull Cathos, an ancient who embodied their ideals of strength, bravery, and courage.
Rumors swirl that the Crusaders have returned, and that they mean to go to the west. But who are these tall, blonde warriors? They look nothing like the Crusaders who set out from Travancore 200 years ago. And those who inhabit the ruins of that ancient city suspect trickery.
Many centuries ago, King Corsic built Bastion's Keep to pen the barbarian threat in the north. After years of military disasters, the frustrated king led a large army out of the fortress and into the north to conquer the barbarians once and for all. Not one of them came back.
Evil is closing in around this keep. We must protect the innocent.
One usually hears demonic tremors before seeing them. These behemoths move slowly and heavily, pounding the earth with their massive fists. Many a siege has been broken by the tremors' battering strikes, and many more enemies of the demons have been felled by their wrath. I pray that our world will never see them again. The children of Bull Cathos settled in the northern steppes, an area that is now known as the Dreadlands. Theirs was primarily a nomadic and tribal culture, though they had a few permanent settlements such as Cesseron and Harrogath. A group of revered former warriors known as the Elder Council ruled the barbarians. The barbarians have always defended their lands in the north from trespassers. They believe that it is their sacred charge to guard Mount Ariat and the World Stone within it from the outside world. Unfortunately, their battle prowess and tenacity have been misinterpreted as bloodthirst and territorial savagery by soldiers in Westmarch.
You're too late. My servant is already inside your walls, and his hunger is ravenous. He will devour your corpse, and those of your friends.
The scent of battle saturates the air. This is where we truly belong.
You are brave, Cormac. A bit mad, but brave.
20 years ago, Bale was loosed upon the world. He besieged the barbarian capital of Cesseron and used treachery to access the World Stone Chamber, circumventing the three ancient guardians, Talik, Modoc, and Korlik. In the end, he succeeded in corrupting the great artifact. Though Bale was slain by heroes, his damage was irreversible.
Do you have any family waiting for you back where you're from?
I gave up my family and my name long ago. The crusade is all I have.
I can relate to that, my friend.
Gorm is the largest of Asmodan's Sin Lieutenants, and he possesses no less than 4 mouths. Though his voracious appetite is certainly his greatest weapon, his bile and, well, other noxious excretions are equally lethal. When last seen in battle, the Lord of Gluttony swallowed half a dozen angels whole, spears and all.
Empty victory over a useless tool. You have only delayed your inevitable destruction. Your walls have grown no stronger. Our assault continues unabated. The stone will still be mine.
Terrifying noises were coming from the armory, so Tyrael went to investigate. He said if you were to return, I should send you there.
I am losing control! The Soul Stone seems stable now.
The demon's rage has been subdued.
Yes, but for how long? Our time grows short. We must take this fight to Asmodan.
Then we shouldn't waste time discussing it. I will break their battle lines, enter the crater, and end this.
Can you feel the keep shuddering? Asmodan's siege weapons. Saving these walls will have meant nothing if they're reduced to rubble.
I'll shatter those weapons before that happens.
At last!
Tell me more of the eternal conflict.
Since time immemorial, the forces of heaven and hell fought for control of the sacred World Stone, until the day it was stolen by renegades and used to forge your world. Since then, the forces of hell became more interested in corrupting mankind than in facing us on the field of battle.
They wished to turn humanity into a weapon?
They knew that mankind would tip the balance of power forever, and very clearly, you have.
What do you know of the creation of our world?
To escape the eternal conflict, a group of renegade angels and demons came together and created a hidden paradise for themselves. They called this world Sanctuary. Eventually, they commingled. They gave birth to mankind. That is why you have both good and evil within you, and the power of both realms as your birthright. The power of your Nephilim ancestors was so terrifying to their parents that they tuned the World Stone to weaken them. They knew they had loosed something unimaginable upon creation.
What are you doing with all of these riches you find?
Living a life of depravity and overindulgence, naturally.
In this place? I doubt it.
Fine. Perhaps I've found that my treasure is put to better use elsewhere.
You're sending it away? You?
We all have debts to pay, friend.
I remember standing before the Prophet, my life hung by a thread. But he healed me and my sisters.
What was his interest in you?
He was impressed that we had slain the demons. When we had recovered, he offered to train us further.
And you agreed?
Yes. I owe him my life. Slaying the Lords of Hell would please him. It is the least I can do.
The men look to you to lead them. When they see you laying waste to the demon hordes, they are heartened. As you go, so does this battle. We gain strength from each other. Remember that.
I knew you could...
Oh dear. That's a very resolute expression you're wearing. You may as well say what you're thinking.
If you were truly a god, you could simply summon this jewel you seek. So, you are no god.
Well, I never claimed I was. Also, the jewel is so potent, it can defy even a god.
So you do claim to be a god?
Oh, do I? You're going out there?
I must. Asmodan waits.
Make sure you bundle up, huh? You should probably wear an extra layer or two. You can never be warm enough, I always say.
But you've barely changed since the desert.
Oh, well, it's quite simple. I just tuck a few fire opals in my pockets and under my shirts, and I never get cold. As good as a pair of long underwear.
I see a foul darkness gathering around us. The forces of hell will soon overwhelm Leah.
Does the Soul Stone shatter? Do the Demon Lords break free?
No. You help Leah contain the energy within the stone, but the cost to her is high. You should give some thought to taking time for yourself, Cheldo. You can save the world tomorrow. Stay with us tonight. I'll buy drinks. We'll dance.
When the crusade is done, then we'll dance. And I'll buy the drinks.
I knew you'd say that. I really did.
Bastion's keep stands tall. Now I go to the battlefield, where Asmodan's war machines bombard our scattered soldiers.
We see cold winters in Westmarch, but the air here bites at the skin like a bloody scavenger.
Keep moving. It prevents the blood from freezing.
Thank the gods you're here. You've got to destroy those ballistae. They're raining hell down upon us. We can't last much longer.
Long ago, the heralds of pestilence were lesser demons who rebelled against Asmodan. The Lord of Sin vanquished them easily, but instead of slaying them, he granted each one a long arm, infested with a poison that could kill anything but Asmodan himself. The heralds have been plague-riddled menaces ever since.
We couldn't hold on. There were just too many of them.
Men are losing hope. The demons' numbers seem endless. They come at all times, day or night, and no amount of casualties we inflict slows their advance. We need reinforcements. We need help.
I recently met a returning Crusader, and now I understand. Each Crusader took an apprentice. When a Crusader fell, his apprentice would take up his armor, his place in the Order, and even his very name. When the first generation of Crusaders fell, their own apprentices took up their identities, and so it has continued for 200 years. Of the original 427 Crusaders who disappeared into the East, 341 return. Do they still seek the redemption of their faith? How will they react to the destruction of the city that birthed their crusade? Will they continue west to the lands of Westmarch? What does their return portend?